It's time for trigger warning.
Trigger warning! Fuck your feelings, you little snowflake! Triggerwarning.tv.
How dare you!
Good evening and welcome to another trigger warning, this time on a Wednesday. I'm Hayden Hewitt and I'm joined, of course, by Ms. Graham Booth. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've just had a bit of chaos. Okay, I tell everyone because normally my mic's on the end of that there, so I'm just like it's just right there in my face, and I feel dead good. But because I've been streaming on the PlayStation, I've got it on this little stand, so I can take it over. And the last thing my daughter did before she went to bed was decide that it's hers now and put it in a doll's house. So I've just spent like the last 20 minutes just tearing the place apart, going like really like. And I just went, it's in there, innit? It's in her bedroom.
Well, you got there in the end.
I know.
You got there in the end. Oh, another busy day of pandemic.
Yeah, dude, it's been insane, hasn't it? Insane.
Well, this morning, I took Junior into school, as is my wont. And I noticed that it was very quiet. The traffic was really kind of quiet. So got him into school, came home, started catching up on some emails and a couple of other bits and pieces, and was just on a call, and my phone went. It was the school. I thought, oh shit. So I answered and they said, okay, your son's been coughing and complaining that his chest's very tight. So, oh gosh, here we go. Now I know I've got a cold. He's had a cough, a couple of weeks ago, but I thought, I'll go in. I went in and another kid was being sent home at the same time. He had his proper poorly face on. And I said, he said he coughed up a bit of mucus. So I thought, well, that doesn't sound like COVID-19, does it? So they said, well, we can't have him here. We're going to have to send him home. So okay, well, here's his work pack. She said, because he's got to stay off for at least 2 weeks now. Right, no problem. Brought him home. Told me that his chest had been a little bit tight. He had coughed. Phoned Mrs. Hewitt. Said, this live stream's being very weird tonight, dude. It's just not connecting to chat now. There's something really weird going, because before it stopped the live stream on me.
I know.
So anyway, I phoned Mrs. Hewitt, told her what had happened. So she said to them at work, oh, hey, Hayden's had to pick our son up. Right, go home. That's it. Go home, 2 weeks. We can't find a laptop for you, so no working, just go. Just get gone. And so she's stuck at home now, in the house, with me and my son for 3 weeks, because they got, the end of term. And let's be honest, if the schools are open within 5 months, I'll be absolutely amazed.
Yeah, no, they're not opening now, because
my poor wife, as if she's not got enough to put with, having been with me for 26 years, she now has to spend a block of weeks in the same house as Hayden, who is bored. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible shame. And I want to know why chat's not connecting. This is really upsetting me now. There we go. It's back again.
Which chat? Oh, do you mean the chat, the one that
no,
is displayed,
I was
you're reading?
I was disconnected from the one on YouTube, and it disconnected from the display as well.
Oh, right, because I can see YouTube just fine, no problems. Yeah, that's coming up. I thought you meant the one below us. But yeah,
really unusual.
That takes us to the main thing today, which was they announced they're going to close the schools until further notice.
Yes, until further notice.
Yeah. Which means September, because we've got the Easter holidays, and then we've got the peak of the virus, which they're definitely going to close for, because everything's going to fall apart at phenomenal levels. So yeah, and you know what? All I did was tell my little girl that she's not going in after Friday, and she's been crying all night. She's like, but Monday, I go in on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. She's like, you like, I know the days you usually go in, darling, but it's shut. I'm so sorry. And yeah, she's devastated. Absolutely. It really fucked my head up, right? Because every day I've been taking her to school and we've been smiling and singing. And she hates me singing. I sing at the top of my lungs down the street. She fucking, no, daddy, no, shut up. And I just love it. I love it. I don't care. Everyone's staring at me, but I've just been trying to shield her as much as possible. So seeing her crying her eyes out tonight just broke me, man. Broke me. I needed half hour just to sit there, like, yeah, the reality, you know.
Just to get your shit together.
Yeah, because you want to shield them from stuff like that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you know, she's been going in, big smiles, hi, morning, you know.
Here's the other problem in our house. You know, since I brought Junior home, not coughed once. So it's probably all for nothing. I know it's only a couple of days, but, you know, Mrs. Hewitt, the sainted Mrs. Hewitt, could have got a laptop from work and been working at home instead of just putting up with me pacing.
Here's my conspiracy theory on all this as well, because I don't have much sort of evidence or whatever at the moment, but I think this is too early to be closing the schools, and we've been over this before. Just because it takes people out the workforce, it's putting extra stress on people when they're already stressed enough. You know, suddenly now we're going to have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of kids to deal with. You know, which is a big problem because a lot of them can't go with the grandparents, which is what is usually would happen. And what I think's happened is, Johnson knew, the people doing the strategy knew it was too early to shut the schools, but I think that Scotland fucked the UK Parliament by announcing themselves. And what they've done is they've created a situation where, in order to avoid like serious civil unrest, they basically forced national school closures, in my opinion.
It's possible. It could also be they've just decided this is the optimum.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so at all, man. Not going off the preparations that are still happening. You know, why only give like 2 full days notice? It doesn't make any sense. I suspect people that they looked at it and they went, you know, because right, well, why are the kids in Scotland off? Are my kids in danger? Are my English kids not being treated with respect and that? Even though kids aren't vulnerable. And schools are relatively safe places right now. Yeah. You know, they're good places for them to be. There's hand sanitizer fucking everywhere. They've got food. They're amongst other kids only. I don't know, man. It seems like a bit of a thing. But on that, though, some are still going to be open. And I'm happy, I'm really happy about this because this was my main worry. And it's like frontline staff, which they've not clarified yet.
They've clarified some of it. Yeah. NHS staff, fire, NHS, ambulance, police, food delivery drivers.
Yep.
So they're going to keep it open for that.
But we don't know yet. Like, I mean, I'm assuming I'm going to hear something at the door tomorrow, but I don't think schools themselves know, because I've got a family of NHS staff, and the school are obviously aware of that because you put it on the thing when you sign up, don't you? So I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the morning. But you know. We'll see.
Well, here's something interesting. I had a couple of conversations tonight about the treatments.
Yes.
For COVID-19. I did a bit of research about this. Now, just trying to get through the dates here. But it seems there are 3 distinct drugs being investigated for treatment. Someone tilted me towards them. They named the brand of them as well, but that's not up for me to share. It's not a secret. I just don't want to be responsible for anybody going and buying a drug that does have some quite shocking side effects, but is available freely. However, the UK government has already banned the parallel export and hoarding of 3 different drugs used to treat COVID patients in China. And they did this in anticipation of shortages in Britain. Now, bear in mind, this is not a vaccine. This is treatment that seems to work particularly well on the strain of pneumonia that COVID-19 gives you. Now, there are actually 3 quite different drugs. They're being administered in China in clinical trials because they don't have to ask permission. I was called a racist for saying things like that today.
Really?
Yeah,
But it's true.
I'm a massive racist for pointing out that China were welding people into their houses to starve to death, because that's racist. Even when I said it's got nothing to do with their ethnicity, it's to do with the communist government. I am now racist checkmark Twitter. Imagine my horror. So yeah, these 3 drugs. The first one is an antiviral drug marketed in the EU and the US. It's also used for treating HIV. So it's an HIV drug. This one isn't over the counter. It's called Coletra. It's capsules, tablets, coated tablets, etc., etc. So they've been trying that one out. The other one is an anti-malaria drug, derivatives of which are available over the counter. You can just buy them. It's a very, very common drug, the active ingredient in it. Let's say you gotta be very careful how you would take them. And the last one is actually an anti-rheumatic agent marketed for rheumatoid arthritis, discoid, and systemic lupus. Now, I know that people that have had lupus are actually on the vulnerable list as far as COVID-19 is concerned. So an anti-lupus drug and anti-rheumatoid arthritis and discoid, an HIV drug and a malaria drug are the ones that are currently being trialled. And I do know that in trials in France, because it's not just China that are trying them. And by the way, you can believe me or not on this. I believe the source I got it from, but it's up to you. 75% success rate in trials in curing COVID-19 related pneumonia. Now, I imagine they're trying desperately to fast track this because it isn't a vaccine, but it is an effective treatment that's easy to administer and apparently reasonably swift in its action. And the government started stockpiling these or preventing them being exported last month. So it started last month once they'd identified that these things were being used.
Have you seen in Japan as well? There's another good one in Japan called Favipiravir, and it's a flu treatment. And apparently in the X-ray scans there was a 91% success rate in reducing the issue compared to 62% who weren't given the drug. So obviously 62, there's quite a high number of people that get better anyway. And we all know that. We all know this doesn't have a...
But the benefit of one of these, Graham, is that it is the active ingredient in it is as common as dirt. It's generic. It's a generic medicine. It's already generic and it's incredibly common. So we're probably very close to, because they're going to fast track it like crazy, but we're close to an effective treatment. The vaccine is going to turn up before 18 months. We know that. Because there's a race on, isn't it? China are trying to produce it before America so America can't patent it. Because China have said they're going to produce it and release it to the world.
Yeah.
America have said they're going to produce it and sell it to the world. So
those fuckers in China though are just running interference to come.
Oh, they're going crazy for the fact they did this. They owe everyone.
I've seen so many people criticize on, if someone criticizes China on Twitter because they did lie, if someone criticizes them, they go, well, actually, China are donating respirators. And it's like, well, do you even know that? Do you know that's true?
No, everything China says is true now, didn't you know? And you've got all these zero-follower accounts that are suspiciously pro-Chinese. Buckscore has just said China said they'll test drugs on the virus in April. They've been testing these drugs on this virus probably since December or January, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, isn't there? There was that conspiracy theory about that 2015 drug that was developed to treat SARS and coronavirus, but not this strain, obviously, not the COVID-19. And in early January, it's been discovered that China stole the plans for this virus, stole it.
Oh yeah, from Canada.
Research. Yeah, and then tried to copyright it in their own name. Which is amazing. January 14th. I've got this saved as a screen grab, and this is the World Health Organization at WHO, and it says that the Chinese authorities have found no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission of novel coronavirus. This was January the 14th, so this was after they'd stole copyrighted stuff to treat this thing that apparently wasn't having human-to-human things. They lied, and the WHO... This is why the WHO and why people in January... some people were going over the top, but a lot of people were like, it's just the flu, and it's because of shit like this. It's because China just went, no, it's fine.
Well, look, I mean, there's people out there that still believe this happened because some scruffy fucker in Wuhan ate a fucking pangolin. We know that's not what it was, isn't it? Even now, people don't see. Is it not just a little too obvious that there's this fucking biological research plant down the fucking road from the market where all these outbreaks happened? That it just so happens that last year a guy isolated himself.
Yeah.
You know, and isn't it just a bit much to start saying, well, China says this, China says that, when the doctor that was the whistleblower, perfectly healthy, died of something very few healthy people die of.
Yeah.
Two of them.
And those that haven't died are just being expelled, aren't they? They're getting rid of all the journalists. The same journalists that are pointing out that there's cases from November last year. November.
They knew well before, like Happy Dogs just said. They've known for months and they sat on it. So every time one of these pricks on Twitter calls me racist, it's not race, mate. Stop being a bellend. Just because you're an anti-capitalist on your iPhone, on Twitter. Come on. This is what communist regimes do. They fucking kill people. Yeah, they've handled the disease perfectly. Yeah, they killed as many people as the fucking disease. You know, if Russia find the cure, it's because they fucking screwed it out of China.
I love it as well. This whole fucking narrative about China wanting to give the vaccine away for free. Fucking bullshit. It's a fucking lie. We're in a situation right now where China has already withheld medicine. Yeah, they've already.
But they may have to give the vaccine away free.
Oh, they may have to. They may be forced to. Yes.
I reckon it's already a done deal. If you get it, you give it, because you fucking did this, you assholes. Yeah. Best part of 2 months, you didn't tell anyone what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, but you know what else is happening? The whole fucking world right now is waking up to their dependence on China.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like that brilliant thing, the best statistic is the last penicillin factory in America closed in 2004. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. And it's like, you know, like... And I don't even know what it's like in Europe, but we have similar issues in terms of dependency for ingredients. We're like, oh, we make it here, but we get the ingredients there. Everyone is looking at China right now and going, you know what? We'll probably spend a little bit more money from now on.
I was talking with someone just before on the phone, and it was a good conversation as usual, but also about capitalism. And I was talking about the local shops, that some of them are doubling their prices. And they're making hay now. They're making hay like crazy. But you know when this is finished? People will remember. Capitalism is easily exploited right up until it self-corrects.
Yeah, well, people are exploited in situations. And I was talking to...
But in general, you know yourself, capitalism will exploit until it self-corrects.
Yeah.
And that's what China are going to find.
It's the only system that can self-correct, because if you've got any other system where, you know, where you've only got one choice and it's just mandated and set, then the exploitation happens, and there's fuck all you can do about it. Right now, apparently, I don't know this, but talking to parents, gossiping and that, they've been going around local shops, and apparently they've all raised the prices to around the same amount. You know, like meat. There's a lot of frustration with meat at the moment. It's very, very expensive, but it's not like one person's doing it; they're all doing it. And
See, round here,
like,
there's actually a massive disparity. There's a massive disparity. Like the shop nearest to me hasn't changed a thing. Hasn't changed a thing. One further down the road, they've put the prices up. They're selling lots of stuff now, but I guarantee when this is done,
yeah, mate, people won't
they're going to get tanked.
They'll remember. I did that once in town. You know, one of those open shops that you don't go in. It's just like on the street, like part of the wall, and it was like 180 for a bottle of Coke or something. And I'd give him a £5 and he'd give me the change. He was like, yeah, it's 180, and I was like, well done, mate. I'm never shopping here again. That's it. You just, you're gonna fuck me over like that. And I've never been back. Years later, I've never been back because he can go fuck himself. And people remember. They do, yeah. And we'll all be crying about Asda and Aldi killing local stores and shit, and it's like, well, yeah, but it's not as simple as them being big and evil and shit like that. It's, like right now, they're the ones keeping the supply lines going big time.
Oh yeah. Although they're failing miserably with the pasta at the moment, aren't they? And I think Iceland have announced they're probably going to have to close some stores.
Yeah, mate. But mate, we're just obsessed with pasta, though, aren't we?
I'm not bought a fucking none of it. Well, we bought some wholemeal spaghetti, I tell a lie, because Mrs. Shewitt made a bolognese. We call it a bolognese. It's got nothing to do with bolognese, but she made that. But that's the closest we got, and I can't be arsed stockpiling pasta fucking shells. Life's too short. Life's way, way too short. Nick has said their price is a history of sale coupled with what people are prepared to pay, which generates value. Price fluctuations and value fluctuations are not the same thing. Capitalism will sort it out. Indeed it will, and China will bear the brunt of it because capitalism has a habit of remembering, as long as it's convenient to do so.
America alone is going to fuck China now. They're going to fuck them. Did you see they've just passed the... I can't remember the name of the act now, actually. Wait, let me get it up. The Defence Production Act. It's from the 50s, and it is a wartime act, and it gives the government, and more specifically, mostly Trump, massive, almost socialist-like power over industry. He can mandate factories to make basically whatever he wants right now. Good. So if he turns up and says you're making ventilators, you're making ventilators. It is. There's no exaggeration. This is a wartime power, and it's been passed not just by Trump, Biden, Bernie Sanders,
of course.
Even Cuomo. Every single one of them is standing behind Trump and saying yes.
What we have to see is which of these powers they willingly revoke when this is all done. But for now, it's not the time to worry about these things. It's time to get shit done. I know that plays into the hands of it plays into the hands of conspiracy theorists terribly, because that's what all this is. But you know what, guys? We can't believe you because you're all fucking mental, and people are dying, and people are going to keep dying. So we have to do something. And do you know what? Left to our own devices, we'd carry on going to the pub until we were all dead.
Yeah, which a lot of people are doing. What have they been calling it? The boomer something. We've been calling it the Mulan cough and the Mulan measles and that, haven't we? But what are the young people that are going out?
Boomer remover.
Boomer remover, that was it. Yeah. And people have been going, oh my God! Probably the same people that have been calling it the Chinese virus. Like,
I think the thing is, with the boomer remover, it's usually tied to Brexit somehow.
Yeah.
And it's like, you do realise, guys, that if they removed all the boomers, there'd be no one to support you, so you can sit on your ass on Twitter for 18 hours a fucking day.
Yeah. Mate,
Yeah.
I went in the shop and all the kids are just at it. They don't give a fuck. They do not give a fuck.
No.
I saw people in bars, everything. They're all everyone's out and about, man. This is why I had such an issue with closing schools. You know, it's like it doesn't fucking make a difference. It's not gonna make not this early on. I know we're having a spike, but here's the thing, man. With these things, it's not the first wave that kills most people.
No, it's the one that's going to turn up next winter.
It's the second, it's the third wave because that's when everyone relaxes.
Well, I got told that might not happen because China's not had a second wave. I'm like, yeah, what do you know about this that we fucking don't? You know?
As if anyone knows the slightest thing about what's going on.
Oh, I know. Well, I got one of their propaganda accounts, you know, those 0 follower accounts. I had 2 of them on at me today.
Yeah.
And when I look through the posts, they're all pro-Chinese government. And I said about the welding the door shut, have you spoke to Chinese people about this? And it's like, yeah, actually, do you know what? I have. Well, did you see it? Actually, yes, I did. Well, you didn't talk to the Chinese people I know. No, I probably didn't. No. But I did speak to people that were telling me this shit was happening, and then I saw the videos they were sneaking out, which showed it happening. Just blanked me after that. Blanked me. So I was probably talking to someone from the fucking Chinese government for a change. You know.
Oh, dude, I saw a great article. I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now. I'll just read you the headline. Coronavirus, Australia, why women will feel the impact more than men.
Oh,
Yes, man. But then if you go down, it says that 77.9% of those working in healthcare are women. But here's the thing. It's killing way more men.
I was going to say, isn't it far more dangerous for men than it is for women?
Yeah, it's killing men. It's killing men, but they're just saying there's more women nurses, so you know, but they've buried it right at the bottom. You imagine if this disease was killing more women than men.
Oh, we'd never hear the end of it. We'd never hear the end of it.
I don't even know how we'd manage to get more media coverage than we do now, but we would.
All this shit's endemic in like Africa. It didn't get there till a bit later, and they were saying, you know, this is a punishment for the white man. And now that they've got it, it's, you bastards, the white man did this to us. There was that mullah out in the Middle East, I don't know if it was Iran or something, he said, this is Allah's punishment on the infidel. He now has COVID-19.
Yeah.
As we mentioned yesterday, ISIS have told their fighters not to travel to Europe. And Iran has released 85,000 prisoners.
Jesus Christ.
Labour want to do that here with the refugee centres, you know, for return.
Yeah.
So the ones that we've said, no, you're not staying. Labour have said we should release them. We should release them.
Like, you know, I mean, although I will say this, you know, obviously I've been following a lot of American media because it's very, very loud. But I've been following UK stuff most, and for the most part, they have been well behaved. They have been positive. They have been good. You know, I mean, a little bit of showboating, but they just can't help themselves. They can't help it. Like, you know, I mean, it is one of them. Like, there was a big fuss about rents, and it was passed today that you're not going to get evicted if you miss your rent. By the way, I don't know if you don't know this. By the way, it's a good thing to tell people because I know people are very, very worried. Right now, you cannot be evicted for not paying your rent, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to pay that rent.
No,
it just means you.
But there's a problem with this, Graham. There is a problem with this. They are going to bring in the mortgage holiday for landlords.
They are.
Now, what the landlord won't have to, let's say they give them 4 months. And let's say the mortgage is $600 a month. That's £2,400. At the end of that time, they don't go, right, you got to pay that off now. It's added on to the end of the mortgage. But they're saying the people that rent will come to an agreement with their landlord to pay this off. But how? How can you agree to pay off something that you will not still be in that house when it comes due? So this tweaks, but the main thing is you won't get evicted. The rest can be sorted out because we know if they've said you've got to sort it out with your landlord, it means that most times you're not going to really sort it out that well.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing as well. No one answer to this problem is going to be perfect.
No,
but it's a start.
We need the blunderbuss approach. Now people are on Twitter screaming about details. You know, what about my exams? What about this? What about that? It's important to me. It's important to me. She's like, do you know what's important right now is that thousands upon thousands of people are going to fucking die.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter is a very important part of her developmental, cycle. She needs to be around those kids of her own age. But I'm not going to start fucking moaning at Boris Johnson on a personal level for that. Because who gives a fuck about me and my daughter? Who cares?
I do think, though,
more important things going on right now.
I mean,
I care.
But I actually said today, I believe the government are doing a good job now.
Yeah, I do. Like, I don't agree with the schools at this exact time, but I think
it doesn't matter whether we agree with particular things or not. They're doing what they think is right, and they're doing this blunderbuss legislation, blasting it through. We'll sort the details out later. For now, let's get everyone as safe as we can and protect the NHS as much as we can and push through it.
Yeah.
We're always going to have to be vigilant that at the end of this, we see which laws are kept and which are repealed, because we've ended up with shit like income tax, and someone's rightly pointed out that, and all sorts of things because of wartime measures that weren't given up.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm aware of this.
But again, this isn't something we can particularly worry about right now.
Yeah, we can't not do anything. I mean, we'll just be, absolute idiots and voting idiots to run the country from now on, and then that's how things keep staying.
What's his name? Hitchens, not the dead one. Peter? Christopher?
Christopher.
He said, and where's all this money coming from?
Oh, like, yeah.
Who gives a fuck, mate?
No, I know. I mean, it's a good point, and it's a good question.
No, it's not that good. It's going to be borrowed. It's going to be borrowed from the imaginary central bank. It's not like someone's going to hand over. There's 400 billion. It's just numbers on a screen, and our government's going to have 400 billion to spend. Oh, but should we be borrowing it? Yes, we should. Just do whatever it takes. Well, because you know what? An economy can't ever recover if everyone's fucking dead or broke.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, but I do think he had a good point in terms of why aren't the journalists asking that question? I think that's a fair point that he made. I don't think it's necessarily the most pressing thing.
No, it's like shit like Robert Peston. Robert Peston today said it was striking that Boris Johnson wouldn't answer someone's question on Brexit negotiations, and obviously I tweeted him, he won't reply to mine, but I was like, what's striking about it? Yesterday you were asking him about his dad. Today you're talking about Brexit negotiations. There's this pandemic thing going on that's perhaps taking up a bit more of its time. Right, but not only that, why are they stunned that he won't talk about something apart from saving the lives of people? Because no matter what you say about Boris Johnson and what you think, I mean, as you know, Graham, I am not a fan of the man. But I'm sick and tired of hearing he wants to let people die. He wants to kill people. In your heart of hearts, do you really believe that Boris Johnson wants to be remembered as a prime minister that kills people?
No, of course not.
Now, if you think it's bad with him, and imagine it with Corbyn, that's nothing. Imagine if Theresa May was still in charge right now.
Oh, mate. I was watching Prime Minister's Questions today as it was tailing off, and she was sat there completely on her own. I mean, obviously they're isolating, so they're doing that intentionally. But it was particularly striking, her just sort of doing that weird sideways lean that she does. And I saw her stand up and was just completely ignored for someone else. I was just thought, oh my God, but
ghosted, just ghosted, completely ghosted
by the speaker, whose name I don't even know because he's a great speaker that just does his job appropriately. I really like the new speaker. He gets on and he explains what's about to happen and why, and he's not showboating and I mean, he might be, but he's not sort of. It's not obvious that he's thinking of how many books he's going to sell on the back of, his personality in there and shit. And I do like that, and I do like what they're doing at the moment. Even Labour are managing to knock it on the head. And I'm not going to count Labour councillors in that. They're being the same disastrous knobheads as they are. Communism literally brings the world to its knees once again, and they're like, see, this is why we need socialism. And it's like, is it really You fucking idiot.
China did this to us. There's not two ways around it. They fucked
course they
the
did.
world with their
They-
incompetence, having their fucking doubtless. And if people want to call me racist, they just fill your fucking boots. Chances are you'll all be dead in a couple of months anyway, so it doesn't matter. But, you know, this fucking shithouse communist government that have buildings built by people that don't give a fuck about who's in them, that entire chemical complex probably costs less than what we spend on a block of fucking flats over here. You know, and they've let this shit pump out and they've told no one. They've trying to make people believe it was caught from fucking maybe bat soup, maybe a fish. They knew exactly where it had come from, and they just didn't get a fucking handle on it. You know, huge numbers of dead in China. If you believe the official figures, you're absolutely fucking insane. And people are still giving them a fucking pass because they're not Boris Johnson or Donald Trump. You know, you might hate Donald Trump. He didn't do this to you. He might have said some really stupid shit about it, and he really did say some stupid shit about the coronavirus, but he didn't do this to you, and the measures he's pushing through are going to help you see this through. I mean, up to $1 trillion the US are making available. Boris Johnson didn't do this to you. Brexit didn't do this to you. Conversely, the EU didn't do this to you. China fucking did this to you. And Canada for letting him steal it in the first fucking place. Oh, you've gone quiet. Press your mute, dude.
Sorry, I was smoking, wasn't I? Yeah, you know they've closed the Canadian-American border now.
Yeah, but
I mean,
by mutual assent, obviously.
yeah, it's not. You know, they've not gone. Fuck off. It's like, yeah,
Spain is looking at closing its airspace.
good.
Not
Should
just
be,
the
man.
not just the
Should be
borders.
okay,
No, you're not even allowed to fly over it now. See, chemtrails.
They know the truth, don't they? I got some nice things, man. Before we have to boogie, well, nice and mental. But dolphins have returned to Venice.
I've seen this. I've seen
Yeah.
people celebrating that the Venetian canals are clean, and you know the Hudson and all these places are clean, and like this is how it should be. I'm like, yeah, we should slaughter thousands of people and lock
know.
everyone in the house every year. You stupid fucking lunatic.
Yeah, because they say like dolphins have returned to Venice, but it's like, yeah, but that doesn't. They didn't just like magically appear like unicorns. They were somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's coming here because there's no people there anymore. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people sort of with the mentality of like, you know, the coronavirus isn't a tragedy; it's a wake-up call. This is the world we could have, and it's like, have you not seen the stampedes in London for people getting in Asda as it opens? Like people, like women being literally crushed.
Oh yeah, but no, it's a wonderful thing for the Venetian canals. It's important that they're clear and clean. And have you seen how wonderful it is in China? That was once so little pollution. Maybe this has taught us a lesson. What? Death camps?
Yeah, don't buy your medicine from China. That's the lesson.
You know, they're saying maybe it's worthwhile. Do you know what? This disease, this virus, could kill my dad stone dead. Because, you know, 82, cancer, kidney failure, stroke. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not entirely convinced it'd kill him, because nothing else seems to manage it, to be honest with him. But the truth is, if he got this, all joking aside, it could kill him stone dead like that.
And dude, if he got it in 6 weeks from now, because of his age, they might turn him away.
Exactly.
They might
And all these people
Plug him
saying
up.
it could be a blessing. Right, my dad's no saint, but you know, he's a good man. I would slaughter each of them on a bridge in London in exchange for his life. Just for saying that, because it's their own fucking parents and go, oh no, but this is wonderful, there's no pollution. We'll save the planet by all we have to do is kill all the fucking people.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be surprised though, because that's their entire philosophy.
Yeah, of course.
With Extinction Rebellion. Look what they're trying to talk the UK into doing. The UK has listened to these fucking lunatics and is trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the thing with the way kids are being taught. That's why they're all out now. Right now, they don't care. They want the world to burn because that's the education system.
But
has brought them up to think like
only until it starts burning.
Saving.
Only until it starts burning, then they shit themselves. And then they start fucking crying.
once the beer taps will start running empty, it'll hit home then.
Because I had one telling me, because me being a terrible boomer, Dick, I saw that post earlier. But I'm Gen X, and they're like, you've only known hardship like us. Really? So the 70s, all sweetness and fucking light, was it power cuts, 3-day weeks, binge strikes all the time? The 80s, the Tories, great days, constant fear of nuclear annihilation. And the birth of AIDS. The 90s, just shit. Just shit and boring.
Just drugs. That's all I remember from the 90s. Just everyone getting high.
These people make out like you've had a life of sweetness, and it's like, guys, all you do is online gaming and watch videos of Greta Thunberg all fucking there. You got porn on demand, you lucky bastards. I don't want to sound like that man, kids today, but you know what? I wish I could be growing up today.
Mate, when I used to watch the 1am film on ITV, just because I knew there'd be one slightly raunchy scene in it, those were the days.
My son will never have to wind a cassette with a pencil.
No.
Never. He'll never have to do any of the shit things we had to do because life's better now. The environment is cleaner now.
Yeah.
Damn right we're doing more towards it, and these fucking pricks are so bored. See, this is the problem. They're so bored because they've been raised that they can't go out and do dangerous things. They don't go looking for the porn bush. They can't climb trees. They can't play cowboys and fucking Indians because it's violent and racist. They've been raised to be bored. My son, I mean, to be honest, he's only bad if we let him play on these things for a while and he gets a bit entitled, so we have to remove it from his life. But, he's got consoles and he's got fucking everything, as you know. And he comes up to me going, I'm bored. It's like, right, you bored? Well, I'll tell you what, don't you worry. Let's go and pick the dog shit up in the back garden and do the dishes. And he's like, no, I'm not that fucking bored. He's like, there's a surprise.
Yeah, I know. I nipped in the garage a couple of days ago and I was asking him, have you been freaking out, like people coughing and things like that? And he's like, no, I don't really care, it is what it is. I've just got to keep working. And I was like, well, fair enough. He's selling petrol, so he does have to keep working, doesn't he? And but just for a moment, the mask slipped, and I went a bit Unabomber. I was like, I felt myself getting closer as I was just going. Everyone in this country has had it far too easy for far too long. They need a fucking wake up call.
This is a reckoning.
Spoiled cunts. They've had everything to them handed on their plate their entire lives, and this is going to wake them up to how dangerous the world really is.
But here's the thing.
It's just like, okay. And then I walked out like,
I was talking to Stephen today, and we had a good conversation about the nature of digital business and a couple of things that I've spoke a bit to you about, but I'll tell you more about after. And he's like, because he's usually quite good at spotting trends and things, even though he's not in tech, he's been in business so long, he looks for trends. And he's like, if this goes on for a certain amount of time, we're actually going to see a sea change in people's approach to using digital for business. Whereas, all the things we've dabbled with, like conferencing, selling lessons online and things like that, it's going to become the norm. And a couple of conversations I had with, out of the blue, 2 people got in touch with me today about certain things that I hadn't put out there. Can we do this? Is this possible?
Yes.
Is this possible? And it's going to bring about a change in society, and it's kind of utopian vision. Because what I'd love to see. And Stephen raised this, and it's his phrasing kind of is like a 1950s society with modern technology. Now, he doesn't mean that fake morality and all that shit. It's like, the local businesses might start to thrive again. Local community things, the community pub. But with the addition of modern technology. Because if this goes on for 5 to 6 months, we're going to be used to being isolated in small communities again. Yeah. Something we've lost.
Well, I already know, man. They started a WhatsApp group this morning for my daughter's class, and they were handing out papers with the phone number on at the end of the day and everything, and we're all on it now. And it's supposed to be for sharing information, but I know that it's 3 weeks max before that WhatsApp group calms down and it becomes us meeting up
Yeah.
It'll be us, because our kids will be going mental, and whether we like it or not, we're going to become. We won't just be parents that see each other at the gate anymore. We're going to become more of a community. We are.
Yeah.
We're going to know each other, because we'll be having to meet at each other's houses and work out what access to what spaces we've got, and things like that. It's going to happen. I mean, I because I know it's going to happen. I almost said something today, but I don't want to come across as cold and reckless. You know what I mean? Like, cause
let's not get
like,
too close, because some of you won't be here.
Yeah, like, it's a panic group right now. So I just put the thing about rent. Don't worry about rent. You're not going to get evicted. Which, by the way, the brainless morons that spend all day on Twitter were fucking hilarious today, because this act for rent got passed, but obviously landlords will have been in the know just before it got passed. It won't come out of nowhere, because they'll have known that it will have been talked about, and they will have been representatives would have been spoken to beforehand about it. So rumours would have been going around, and magically today, everyone was posting texts from the landlord saying, "Hey, if there's any problems, don't you worry about it. We'll get through this together," on the exact same day before the legislation came out. But then other landlords sent out messages saying, "You might want to pay April now, today," because they knew this was coming out.
Yeah.
And I think both approaches, though.
Here's one good thing, though.
Money.
I know someone that runs a pub.
Yeah.
The brewery got in touch with them today. Said there's no rent payment this month. That's it.
That's brilliant.
There's no rent payment. And they'll probably have to continue, but the fact that they've just jumped in before there was any suggestion they'd have to.
It's happening a lot, man.
Yeah,
a lot
because
of places
people are waking up.
Yeah, people are saying, full salary, go home, don't worry about it, we'll fucking, and I think a big part of that is that 360 billion it's up to now?
Yeah.
Which are loans. I know they're not entirely loans. There's quite a lot of grants. There's the emergency. There's the 500 million local councils.
The government know a lot of that isn't going to get paid back. However, it's not perfect yet. I know of a girl who works for a hairdresser's that predominantly serves an old people's home.
Yeah.
She's been laid off. She was receiving tax credits. She got in touch with Universal Credit. And they went, well, there's a lot of people in your situation. We're not even going to look at it for 5 weeks.
That's ridiculous.
Now, what's going to happen? That's going to change in the next few days quite dramatically.
That's going to change.
But the fact that right now they're not even saying to people, you know what, can you call back in a couple of days and we'll get you sorted? Are you going to be all right? It's that whole Monzo Bank. Oh, well, that's terrible. There's a food bank.
Yeah. Well, if you, I don't know if you still know where this person is or whatever, but tell her to go to your local council. The local council has got a shitload of money right now. You might be queuing, you might be waiting, but go and tell them Universal Credit has said that I've got what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And you'll say, I can't pay my rent, and they go, don't worry, you're not going to get evicted. And you go, I can't eat, and they've got to give you something. They've got to. And if they don't give you something and they can't give you something, at least you're one of the people stood there demanding something that then that pressure feeds up then, and then Boris Johnson comes out at 3 o'clock and goes, £1,000 for everyone, which is almost inevitable at this point. It has to be.
Smoke Steve there's asked, what if the landlord has a mortgage? Will they get reimbursed? Yes, that's been rolled out to buy-to-let mortgages, so the landlord will get a mortgage holiday. However, if the landlord takes the mortgage holiday and still tries to shove people for rent, I imagine that will go badly for them once we can start having a reckoning. But the important thing is they've done it kind of right. They said, right, there's your mortgage holiday. Right, we know this can be abused, so if you can't pay it, don't pay it, they can't evict you. And we'll sort it out at the end. Because you know what, this is all shit that can be sorted out. As long as the landlord doesn't lose their property and you don't lose the roof over your head, we're all right. That's one step forward. And so in that respect, it was very, very clever how it was put together, because not all landlords will pass that saving on.
No.
But now at least the tenants can turn around and go, well, I can't fucking pay you.
Yeah, sorry. And you know what? They're probably going to fucking move out as well, aren't they? But then again, whatever.
Well, no, you wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't move until it was like, right, the eviction's
eventually.
No, you'd wait.
You'd pay the rent,
but you would wait, wouldn't you, until it was like, right, we're going to bring eviction back in now. Yeah. After like 6 months, 12 months, I go, right, I'm off, mate. Laters.
Yeah, in a bit. You can keep the deposit. Go fuck yourself.
Now, my landlord's pretty decent, so I'd be right. I don't particularly want to move, but
No, I mean, my landlord's not amazing, but I love my neighbours.
Blind Fury's just asked about the council tax. I think they're going to have to. Sorry, it's me COVID. I think they're going to have to offer council tax relief.
They're gonna have to. And
Let's
it's gonna
face
have
it.
to be a blanket thing, isn't it?
It's going to be council tax is going to have to go. They're going to have to get rid of utility bills. That's going to have to be paused. And you know what? The companies are going to have to suck up a lot of it themselves because they've been profiteering to fuck for a long time. And they really have. They've been taking the piss, the electric companies. Oil, the price of oil has dropped hugely. None of it's passed on. The reason we're often told is, well, we've got stockpiles bought at the other price. Is that right? But when it goes up, you tend to put it up really quick. Why don't you have it stockpiled when it goes the other way? So fuck these people. But yeah, we have to remove council tax. We've got to remove utility bills, at least temporarily. We've got to make sure people are confident enough to self-isolate and be able to feed their families.
I just saw a comment about the BBC from Fat Belly, and it made me laugh today. I saw a post saying that the BBC's action in this crisis are going to guarantee their funding for the next 20 years. And I was like, what? And I clicked on it.
Delaying the over 75 license fee.
Well, yeah, but they're just putting like a load of like Steptoe and Son on the iPlayer and stuff, and doing like a kids section of the iPlayer. Like it's all the same stuff that's on there. It's just going to be segmented off and stuff. And I'm like, really? That's going to compete with Disney Plus, is it?
Yeah, it's like BBC. I guarantee while this is going on, no one's going to say anything. But once this is done, you're going to be back in exactly the same fucking position you were in before.
I've barely touched the BBC through the entirety of this.
What's the point? ITN News. I honestly believe ITN News is of a higher quality than the BBC. I genuinely believe that.
ITN's fine. There's nothing wrong with ITN at all. It's credible.
The opinion has started creeping into the 10 o'clock news, especially since they got rid of Alistair, which was fucking unforgivable. ITN, sort your shit
stupid.
out.
That was fucking stupid. It was, yeah, massively so. But they are good overall, though.
Yeah, overall, I far prefer them to the BBC, not because they talk to what I like. But it's a little more straight down the line. It's a little more straight down the line. And the BBC is just bollocks. Just bollocks. Have I got BritBox? Have a fuck. You know, I'm not going near that shit. There's nothing I want on that. Nothing.
They were boasting about Question Time not having an audience, and they're going to do it at 8 p.m. live with, basically what we're doing right now, but with like 6 screens or on a live mix or whatever. And it's like, ooh, well done. You're gonna step into the 21st century.
Well done. You've recreated every live vaping show from the last 2 years. That's awesome.
I know.
Happy Dogs mentioned there, and this is actually. This won't be the most popular thing I've ever come out with. It won't be the least popular thing I've ever said either. So we're in a kind of a middle ground. But he said the BBC has not mentioned anything but the COVID virus and how the government is getting it wrong at every step of the way. You know, that's true. And I think at this time, the media have more responsibility than usual. There's so much sensationalist bullshit and politicking. Perhaps in the short term, and although this does sound dreadfully manipulative, but it's no more manipulative than what's going on, is let's look for some positive, shall we? Just for a little while. I'm not saying don't lie to people, but let's focus on some positives.
The thing is, like right now, our dream scenario, our really good outcome is 50,000 dead. That's if 50,000 people in this country die by the end of all this, that's we've done really, really well. That's probably not going to happen. It's probably going to be a lot more than that. And right now, the BBC knows that. They're fully aware of that. So they're fishing for sound bites around that to panic people, to get salacious headlines, and then to put that 50,000 number and say like that, I'm not talking specifically about the BBC. I don't know who you've got in mind at the moment, but it's like this kind of vibe of like the government are going to allow 50,000 to die, and it's like they can't save everyone. They can't. It's physically impossible. Even in communist fucking China, where people have no rights whatsoever, they couldn't save people.
No, the fact is, it's a very simple fact. From what little we know of this virus, I know everyone's a virologist now, especially the people who are previously geopolitics experts, many of whom were probably concrete experts around 9/11 and thermite experts and things of that nature. From what we actually know, look, most young people are going to remain asymptomatic, but virulent.
Yeah.
People up to my age and of older, of reasonable health, are going to get ill. You're going to recover. Great, I can't do trigger warning for 3 or 4 days. You know? Then I'll be at a position, well, you won't either because I'll delete it. I'll just nuke it.
Just in a sulk.
Yeah.
I've changed all the passwords, you cunt.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But that's the worst of it, isn't it? A couple of days out, a few days out, and then
Yeah,
then you can at least start doing something again. The old folks and the folks with real diabetes, not the play diabetes I had, the real deal, the morbidly obese, high blood pressure, severe asthma, probably about 14 to 16% of those infected, maybe a bit more, are going to die. So far, 14 to 16% in that age. So the very vulnerable, and especially the over 80s, they're up to about 15, 16%. We're going to lose a shit ton of people that we love.
Yeah.
A shit ton. Now, it's all very well for people to fuck about on Twitter going, boomer remover. And, I get it and all that, but, it's someone's grandma, grandpa, mum, dad, brother, sister, loved one. Yeah. It's real. It's not just words on Twitter. It's not just a video from some far-flung fucking country that gives you some kind of disassociation distance from this. These are people that should be out. It's like today, I was at the supermarket after dropping Junior at school, went round to the supermarket just to get a couple of bits. And it was quite empty because it must have been picked clean. But there's a lot of younger people in, surprisingly. Many of the people I've seen panic buying seem to go in when you should be working. I don't quite understand that. But I walked around one aisle and there was an old fella there, and he dropped a tin of condensed milk. I didn't know about telling this one because it sounds like I'm blowing my own cock for it, and so I picked it up for him, and there you go, mate. Let me get it for you. I said, "Are you all right?" He said, "I don't know where anything is." So I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, you got a list?" He was like, "No." I said, "All right, I'll come round with you." So I went round. I kept a little away from him, but I got stuff down for him, and just kept him company round the shop. Only took half an hour. And at the end of it, he offered his hand to shake. I said, "I can't, mate. Can't do that. And please don't be shaking anyone's hand for a while. Don't do it." Yeah. But you know what? I was watching when I first got to that aisle, and the amount of people that just walked right fucking past him. We've reached a really weird place in society, because I was raised, I am one of those people that does give up the seat on the fucking bus. Not that I get the bus, obviously, I'm not that common. But I'm one of those people. I hold doors open for people, and I call old women love, and I help them. Yeah, I can't. It's the way I was raised, but it seems like we're so bitter and fucking twisted. We don't care if we're going to lose people that we see every fucking day. And it's a really weird place to be for me, because I'm not used to seeing that lack of thing. But one thing that brought it around a bit is there's a local Facebook group for where I live. Normally it's just, like, look who's been trying to break into my car tonight, and, bloody kids, usually meaning mine. And I fell out with a couple of people over it and all that. But all that's been in there lately is, anyone need any help? Anyone need it? They've had a whip round a collection for, the local charity Who needs anything? What are you doing? Are you poorly? Are you this?
Yeah,
Are you that?
yeah.
You know, and I don't take part in it, obviously, because I've just been plotting which of them I'm going to eat. But, you know, it's just nice to see a bit of this. It's just a shame that the only times I've experienced this in my life have been after terrorist attacks and pandemics. You know, but just a little more caring. I know Boomer Remover sounds funny, but would it be as funny if it was your fucking gran?
No, and that's the thing. Well, you know, we do these types of things happen every 80 years, just about every 80 years. For some reason, the global population just cannot handle like prosperity. It's like the Matrix, isn't it? Where they gave them somewhere nice to live and they kept fucking it up. And we were due something. We were due. They've been saying for years, you know, it's been
every generation needs a reboot of some kind.
Yeah, but there is, if you go back 80 years, there's always some epic clusterfuck, and it lasts about 30 years, and we could be in that right now, you know, with starting with 9/11, you know, and now we're hopefully anyway. The hospitals are so strange that they're not sterilizing gay children at the moment. I'd really appreciate if that wasn't happening, but we're not going to get the information on that, are we?
Wouldn't it be really unusual if this disease mutated, this virus though, and started leaving the boomers alone and started killing the fucking millennials?
Oh, things would change then, man. Things would.
Can I just quickly show something to Fat Belly, because we're getting near the end now?
Yeah. Go on. I've got one more piece of good news.
Fat Belly has said, Graham, I bought an Oculus Rift VR setup. My PC can't run it. Fat Belly, what's this? It's my Oculus Rift, and my PC runs it fucking great. I just wanted to say that. You know.
Well, Fat Belly, what are you going to do? Because you've got two options. Either you upgrade your computer, or you take it back and get the Go.
You forgot the third option.
Go?
No, it's
what is it?
what's it called? It's the one, the standalone one where it's not as good as the Rift in terms of what you can play through, but you can run a PC through it.
Yeah.
But it's an insane piece of kit. But no, there is a third option, Fat Belly. Just put it somewhere, like behind you when you live stream, and that's what you do with VR that you don't use.
Fucking hell.
How? Hey, come on, Graham. You got to give me points for the way I worked that one in. That was all right. That was pretty good. I was quite happy with that.
I have to physically store it somewhere, you know. I don't need to just wear it all the time. Appreciating my VR. God, go mad. Oh, but you know what? You've just brought me really, really nicely onto the last thing I wanted to mention. If you do want something nice for the future to look at, it's a little bit technical, but look at the video that Sony have just released about the PlayStation 5, and it's really dry and technical, and it's going on about the SSD and the architecture of the boards. It lasts about an hour, but it gets you so excited for it. I really enjoyed it today.
Shame none of us will be able to afford it by then.
Oh, I don't give a shit, man. I'm going to get it by hook or by crook. I will get myself one. After seeing that today, the main thing being, and this is going to be a very interesting development, is it's SSD as standard.
And not just SSD. Incredibly fast SSD.
Yeah, really fast. Like most SSD that's on the market right now is not compatible with it because it's not good enough. Now, the reason they're going to have that standard is because the SSD is so fast, you won't need to use the RAM in the way that you do now. There's just that really high bar now. So yeah, it's going to have like the same amount of RAM as the PS4, I think, but it's not going to matter because it won't need it at all. As you're turning, it'll load straight from it, and I was just like, it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be.
Who am I kidding? We know I'm going to fucking buy one, aren't I?
I want one. Watch that video, the official Sony PlayStation 5. It's called like the Deep Dive or something.
No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not watching it because I am not buying this fucking thing this year. I am not doing it.
Dude, if you watch it, it talks about how it developed the 3D audio. They've come up with their own system to connect the solid state drive. They've got their own custom like port, and it has 12 levels of importance. So when you're coding the game, certain things that are going to be immediate are there, because what it is at the moment with games, you have to repeat stuff loads of times on the hard drive. to account for it moving and checking it and stuff like that. They're like, no. If you've got a lamppost, you only have one now. And
there's another thing I did notice when I read an article about this today. Now that they've released more specs, everyone's saying, well, the Xbox X is going to be hugely more powerful, and it turns out that really isn't the case.
Well, the difference is though, man, they've done the new Xbox, so it runs. It runs. It's part of the Xbox One family.
Yeah.
So you can buy an Xbox One game and play it on a One or on the Series X, whereas PlayStation have gone for, well, just watch this video. They're winning the next generation. They've just gone for a high bar.
Sony were always going to win. They always do. It's going to be monumental.
Built from the ground up with backwards compatibility as well.
The only problem is that I buy all this shit and I never get really a chance to, excuse me, to play it.
Yeah.
At least I'm burning this cold out of me a bit now. That's good news.
Dude, I've had a bit of a cold today, and at one point I got a bit of a heavy feeling in my chest. And because I've been reading people's experiences, like little diaries of what COVID's like, I was lay on the couch. I went and lay on the bed for a bit. Just going, I just accepted death. I did. I was like, this is it now.
We got asked there. I think was it Cup of Tea asked if we're going back in the studio. I'll be going in there at some point in the next couple of days, mainly to take a few bits out of there, because I don't think we're going to be broadcasting from the studio for a little while. There's too many comings and goings, and although sorry, one sec. No, a lot of people from there are working from home now as well. So
yeah, there's a lot of people that pass through that place.
Yeah, so we're not going to do that.
It's in the city centre.
Just for safety's sake.
I could have COVID. I don't want to take it down there. If I've got it, I don't want to fucking...
I might not have it, so I don't want to go down there until I know I've got it.
I love your false positive today, though, with your lad. That was so funny.
Oh.
Just to get... And here's the thing, though. You can't take him back now. There's only 2 more days
I believe he innocently coughed.
Yeah.
And they made the choice for him.
Because what you're going to do now, you can't turn up with him tomorrow. It'd be embarrassing.
Oh, they wouldn't have allowed us. They wouldn't have allowed us to, no matter what. That's it. You're out 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter anyway. So that's 3 weeks because you got the end of term. And sorry, no, I didn't go crazy. I thought I heard my son moving upstairs. So
I didn't know.
I just wanted to check because obviously, if I had, I would have had to go because sometimes he sleepwalks a bit. And I love it. He'll come down and say, you'll go, what's up, Bubs? And he will just talk a load of broken fucking biscuits at you. And then come round and you're like, what you doing, mate? And he'll be like, I don't know. I thought, oh, mate, that's just what it's going to be like when you're pissed when you're older.
I know, yeah. Well, it's all right. Your mind will be gone by then. Anyway,
I'll be a fucking demented.
All right, son. You'll just be happy to see him, drunk or not. Oh.
Right, it's been over an hour.
Yeah. I thought tonight would be half an hour or so.
I know, but we enjoy it too much. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on an off night. Please share the links. Let everyone know that we're doing this as often as possible. Come and hang out with us. We will be your beacon of sanity in this sea of pandemic, disease-ridden madness. Oh, it sounded like I wrote that down, didn't it? Quite pleased with that. We're going to ramp up as much trigger warning stuff as we can. Hopefully in the next week or so I'll get the app redone for trigger warning, so you'll be able to get trigger warning radio. You'll be able to get the streams all via the app. Rejig the website so you can add it to homepage on iOS, because I'll only be doing the app for Android. We'll do whatever we can. That includes game streaming in the afternoons. It includes whatever we can do just to hang out with you guys. It's it's a community thing,
Yeah, but by the way, can I just clarify on the gaming stream? Yeah, it's I spend the morning doing chores and reading the news, and then before Boris does his briefing and I do all the research for what I'm going to talk about tonight, it's just to relax. It's just to get out of it. Don't sit there for a full hour moaning because this isn't your thing. You're already on the internet. Go and do something else, right? It's just to hang out and relax. Who was it today bitching the whole fucking time? Do one then. But yeah, I will be moving. My next game is a scary VR one. once I finish this Little Nightmares.
I was planning on doing Arizona Sunshine, but seeing as my house is now going to be permanently full, I'm never going to get a chance to do that. So,
Well, I might. The way it's going,
unless I,
mean,
do it at night.
Yeah, you could do. But I might have to turn because I don't want my daughter on camera. But I might turn the camera off next week, and like play through Borderlands with her or something. And because it's very enjoyable trying to play Borderlands with her. She doesn't take it seriously, and she doesn't understand the concepts at all, and it's hilarious. So I might do that with her.
Well,
Be fun.
that'll be good to watch. And guys, it's just hanging out. If you can manage to help support TW, please do. You can go and add us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/triggerwarningtv. Go to the website. You can donate. You can give us Bitcoin, whatever. If you want to help keep the project going, that'll be fantastic. We will be back tomorrow night. Fucking 3 nights on the bounce, Graham. We'll be back tomorrow night around 10:30, same time. Graham might be back during the day, and once I've finished getting everything up and running, that's when you'll notice like the radio thing and other things going on. So yeah, come hang out with us tomorrow night, and we'll see if we're all still alive. But until then, do have a wonderful day tomorrow, and may your cough be productive and not dry. Good night, everybody.